In this lecture, we'll implement so that we can view a single message by clicking it on the list of messages. The first thing we need to do is open up the messages component and add a click event to the tr element, being the table row. So let's find that right here and add a click event handler. And I will name the event handler open message and pass in the message being the alias from the v4 directive. And then let's go down to the script section and add a methods key and then the open message event handler with a parameter of message. And here I want to use the event bus for triggering an event. So I need to import that first of all. So import from the main.js file. And now I will have some highlighting from my IDE. So event bus like that. And then I can use the event bus here and call the $emits method on it. And the event name is going to be change view. And remember that we have already added a listener for this event within the content component. And let's pass some data along with this event. And the first key I want to add here is the tag key. And this is the tag name of the component that we want to render. Remember that we're using the component to render dynamic components. So the tag that we want to render in this case is app-view-message in kebab case. And let's send along a title for the view as well. And that's just going to be the subject of the message. So message.subject. And let's send along some additional data as well, where I just want to add the message itself. Now this obviously won't display a message because we haven't added that part yet. But let's open up a browser and confirm that the view message component is being rendered when clicking a message. So let's just try to click the first one here. And sure enough, we see the component being rendered. And with that, it's time to implement the view message component. So let's open it up. And the first thing I want to do is to add a props entry here. And that's just going to be the same as in the other components, passing in a data object. The type is going to be object and it's going to be required. And now let's turn our attention to the template and try to make it look decent. I'll add an inbox-body class, also one that I have prepared in advance. And now I want to display the date for the message. So let's say date, and output it using string interpolation. So I'll access the data object here, .message.date. And this is a moment object, so I can call the from now method on it. Next, I want to output who the message is from. So from. And again, some string interpolation, data.message.from.name. And after this, I want to output the email of the sender. All right, now I'll just add a horizontal line because now I want to actually output the content of the email. And since the content of the email will contain HTML, I'll use the v-html directive. And this just takes an expression, so I'll just refer to the data property. So data.message.content. And I'll just give it a class that I've prepared in advance for displaying line breaks. And next I want to display any attachments that have been attached to this message. So div.attachments. Remember, I have added some styles in advance. And I want to use the vf directive here because we might not have any attachments. And the condition is going to be that the attachments array has a length that's greater than 0. If this is the case, I will begin by adding a header or a headline. And then I want to show an unordered list of these attachments. So I'll add the v4 directive to this li element. Attachment being the alias in data.message.content message.attachments, which is an array of attachments. Let's expand this element. And now I just want to display an icon for this attachment to just make it look a little bit nice. So i.fa.fa-paperclip. I'm using the Font Awesome library here. And after that, I want to output the name of the attachment. So attachment.file name. And after that, I want to output the size of the attachment. So string interpolation, attachment.size. But since this is just a number of bytes, I want to format it a bit. So I'll add a filter. So let's add a filters key. And I will name the filter format bytes, taking in the number of bytes as the value to transform. And here I'll just cheat a little and copy in some code for the filter, because this is not really important as to what we're doing right now. And then I will just use this format bytes filter in the template. And with that, let's open up a browser. And let's just refresh the page and try to open a few messages. So this looks good actually. Let's go back and let's try to open up a message with an attachment and see if it displays properly. And indeed it does. So that was the implementation of the Vue displaying a message.